Hey, Stank. Um, I had some on my mind. I just had to talk to you about it. And so here we are at the booty crack of dawn. Yes, I said the whole crack of dawn. It was on my mind. I was like, let me make a phone call. Um, Yesterday I had a conversation with what I call one of my mentors. I'll say that. Um, and it it really stuck with me. But to be honest, and I don't know about you, when sometimes I feel like God is talking to me, it sometimes feels like it comes up in different iterations and from different people. I'm like, oh Lord, you may be trying to say something. But uh, I'm going to actually rewind a second to explain why I feel like this was a little bit of a theme for me this week, amongst other themes. So I started reading this book called The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And essentially it don't come for me, baby. I listen, I say I started, I didn't finish. I didn't finish, okay? I didn't finish. So don't yeah. Anyway, um the concept is that the the one of the best ways to lean into your purpose and even your self-care is by essentially letting go of any expectations that you may project onto other people. That's the short version, okay? That's the Mimi Cliff Notes. That's Mimi Notes version. And as I was listening to it, I was listening to audiobook. I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm all for wellness and self-care. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of five. I call it, my 15,000 kids, but that's what it feels like some days. But I'm a mom of five, I'm a first lady. I am a leader, in my job. I am the friend that people like to call. I don't know, I'm the perpetual optimist. And so let me just sit in this book, right? Because for a number of reasons, including self care, which I'm trying to be a better steward of. I'm trying to get better at that. I can be a little bit altruistic, but anyway, calm down. Try to focus. Stop asking me all these questions. Um, what I found when reading it was like, oh, maybe this is the solution to everything that's wrong with me. I'm not saying anything is wrong with me, to be clear. Maybe I need to stop in a moment where it feels like my view of my perfect view of something is not being met, or people aren't following through on what I'm perceiving and discerning is the best possible option. I'm not saying in the moment I think about it like that, but anyway, um, maybe I need to let go and just allow things to happen more, which I've grown in my ability to do that over the past year. Long story. We're going to talk about that another day, baby. There was a whole anxiety attack that happened for the first time, and I'm that friend that can compartmentalize the mess out of her life, and it caught me off guard. I digress again. Um, but as I sat with some of the concepts in this book, she talks about moments where she's interacting with her family in particular. Toward the beginning of the book, she's getting ready for a prom, and she wanted, it was simple things like a corsage that she wanted to get for her son's prom date. Um, and she had been scrambling because her son decided a lot of things at the last minute. So she's trying to show up and problem solve. Oh, baby. I don't know about you. I don't know where you sit within you with your family. But sometimes it's the problem solvers, the ones that are accustomed to being in that seat that struggle the most with appropriate moments of letting go. Sometimes when you've had to be that person, in my opinion, that is when it's the hardest. We figuring this out together, right? But that just stuck with me just now. Letting them or letting go of how you think things need to be. Sometimes because you may have a knack or a gift, or you've been forced into a seat where you are the problem solver. You are the one that people call when stuff hits the fan. But sometimes it can be hard to pull back when it's genuinely time to let go. And sometimes we even overcommit small things that is fully within that person's locus of control. All right, Sister Mail. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I think the difficult part is discerning, like when, especially if you, again, you would feel like you just were born that way. You were always trying to help, always trying to support, always trying to solve. And sometimes, to be honest, the solving is to protect my peace. But what about when your peace gets disrupted by the solving? What about when your body begins to snitch on you because you're stressed out and your cortisol levels are going up because you've been solving others for so long that you've neglected to solve yourself? I mean, I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to me. I feel like the Lord is saying something in this moment. I'll wait. I arrived a couple years ago to a moment in which it felt like my showing up for other people was beginning to disrupt my peace. And that was hard. That was hard to sit in. And to be honest, it didn't just come with some moment of profound revelation. It came in the form of an ambulance showing up at my house. I didn't know what was happening. Mind you, I usually have really great blood pressure and all the things, but I began to have these palpitations, boom, 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 to the point where it felt like my heart was trying to jump out of my chest. And I was scared. I was really scared. Um, but it showed up in the form of an ambulance coming to check my heart rate and all the things and going to see specialists. And I discovered that I was having an anxiety attack for the first time. And ironically, that particular day, I was also showing up for someone else while trying to balance my own life. Now, that's not to say that there are not moments where showing up and being a support to other people are wrong. There are moments when it's okay. But I realized because I had like child, there were a lot of things. And I realized my body never ever slowed down for the last several years. Sis, bro, auntie, uncle, whomever you are, I don't want this to happen to you. So let's talk about it a little bit more. To give you a rundown, there was a divorce, which was healthy for me. But nevertheless, it was a transition. I had to learn a lot of things. I had to make a lot of adjustments. Single momming a 2-year-old. He actually just turned 2 about a month later. Um, Moving back with my parents, not living in my house that I had just purchased, having that journey of healing, um, getting to see some signs of some health challenges, and then becoming so navigating that child. That's a whole thing, a whole other conversation. Okay, um, and then becoming my grandmother's caretaker. That's my boo thing, and supporting her through till she transitioned, dealing with grief and loss, dealing with some health, minor like health challenges, but I think my body was starting to snitch on me, you know what I'm saying? Um, Continuing to show up for others, continuing to try to excel at work, try to get it right, child, falling in love. Again, I was ready to be a Baptist nun for real. Navigating that, navigating my surrender to God, and I meant surrendering my pain. Sometimes it's hard to surrender other things, but pain, you got to give him that too. We function in freedom in these gospel streets, okay? You got to give him the pain too. And trust that what he has for you and what he has ahead for you is more than enough. Let him restore you. Moving on. And then that love resulting in getting married. He became my best friend first. We ended up getting married. And I went from being a mom of one to, at that time, a mom of three. Ended up having a baby, our youngest girl, navigating that while balancing work. And then navigating all the adjustments of blending. We bought our new home. And then some crazy financial stuff hit. Navigating that while trying to balance everything else that's happening. And also continuing, there's an undercurrent here too. I'm not directly saying, but I'm still trying to fix anything that seems wrong and off, and still trying to be accessible and to show up for other people. A lot of this, what I'm doing, by the way, I'm talking about things that happened to me, but a lot of other people are center stage in how I navigated these things. And then some of my health took a deeper dive, deeper turn. Overwhelmed with, I just would get this, a lot of, child, it's a whole video. We'll talk about that later. But it came in the form of many things eventually. Unexplainable fatigue, hair loss, jumps and leaps in weight, to the point where I didn't even want anybody to see me in social media. I was consumed by stress, and I didn't even want to be visible. In a way, I started shaming myself because I was not looking like what I felt like my prime was. And in some ways, I felt like I just didn't want people to see me that way. But baby, what about how you see you? And I'm not just talking about the outside, but what about how you see you in terms of what you should be doing in terms of what's important, in terms of your value. Let me tell you, I may have been like crawling to the finish line with crisscross ankles, but there is also at the same time, though I was getting depleted, there is a me I was coming into through these difficult experiences. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite scriptures. All right, I got memory issues sometimes, okay? So don't come for me if it's not exactly that. You just go find it. Okay. James 1, 2 through 3. Consider it pure joy when you endure trials. They will come to make you whole and complete so that you'll be perfect and lacking nothing. Something along those lines. Read it for yourself. It's worth it. And I didn't realize as much as it was painful, it was perfecting me in many ways. So all things work together. All things work together. Keep my throat closed. All things work together, okay? Even the hard parts, if you let God do it. And he was working out some things I didn't realize were working. So my 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 wisdom was growing through the challenges. My compassion was growing. My worldview and understanding of the human experience, that was growing. I was maturing in many ways through the hard parts. And so I'm not going to say that they were in vain. Never that. But there were parts of it in which, and also, sorry, fast forward a little bit more. Um, Another loss, who, a beautiful person who started a little rough. I told you I got married. Well, my husband was married previously as well. And yeah, rough start to that relationship with my husband's ex-wife. But oh man, what a beautiful, beautiful climax to that relationship. She became my sister and my friend. She called me her baby mama. And just a couple years, about 4 years into our marriage, she succumbed to cancer. That was hard. That was hard. I'm trying not to get emotional. That was, y'all, whoever is out there wrestling with grief, it feels hard. And it's okay to cry and come back to it and cry again. But just know that God's got you, okay? All things work together. And if you allow Him to press and shape and put you in the fire of these lived experiences, something so beautiful is going to come out of it. Remember what I said earlier, don't forget to trust Him with your pain too. And sometimes trusting Him with your pain is acknowledging it, because you can't ignore your way into a faith-filled moment. But sometimes trusting Him with your pain is saying, God, I believe if you still have me here, that there's more. I need you to help me to find joy in an experience that feels like it sucked it all out of me. And so my baby mama, she passed away. That meant that her 2 boys would be full-time with us, my beautiful sons. We were half and half at first, and that meant that my husband's daughter would be full-time with us. And so fast forward 1 to 5 kids. Don't regret a moment of that, because the Lord gets given grace every step of that way. And my health continuing to dive. Some moments where my cortisol and stress levels were so high, I just couldn't interact, and all I could do was sleep. And you know what I realized? Life on life. Life be lifing. But it wasn't just the experiences alone that brought my health into the place that it was and that I'm still managing. It is sometimes how we carry our experiences. That seemed deep. But it's sometimes how we carry those experiences that make the difference. I have learned as I'm in this new season that though I'm a natural problem solver, though I am many things, I am not God. God can use anyone and anything that He wants to achieve His means. I have to relieve myself of that pressure. I have to pray and leave it at the altar. I have to let stuff go. And if I can't, and it's competing with what I need in terms of my self-care and my peace, I have to be child, we gotta be okay with saying no. That feel like a curse word. It's okay to say no. It is not a reflection of your heart. Sometimes it's a reflection of your needs and your capacity. And as some people would say, no is a complete sentence. I often explain why I can't show up for people, afraid of their perceptions of me. But all of that is how I am crafting a narrative of myself and how I need to function and flow through this world. In short, get out of your head, bro, sis. Get out of your head. There's only one you. And you have to be a good steward of that. Don't let your self-perceptions, either through it being something that you were cultured to, through childhood, through what you've seen, because child, I grew up a Baptist PK kid. So long suffering, maybe not in God's definition, but seeing people suffer to serve. I mean, be on the brink, one leg in, one leg out. It taught me what it means to show up for other people. And in some very beautiful ways, to be clear. In some beautiful ways, I learned the importance of service leadership. There has to, just like anything else, there have to be boundaries with even that. If it kills you, it will also kill the purpose on you. You have to be discerning and measure. I don't think that the Lord has no desire to harm you. I need you to be a better and good steward of you in order to walk in that purpose, in order to birth everything that God has for you. So if that means we need to hit the treadmill, we hit the treadmill, we walk in. If that means we need to say no to that friend, that cousin, whomever, no. Don't cancel that vacation unless the Lord is leading you to do it. Don't let guilt do it. Engage other people as needed and use your resources. You don't got to do everything. I mean, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me. You ain't got to do everything. And so, going back to this original point, the let them theory. Sister Mel, I think it has some merits in certain ways. For me, my biblical interpretation of it, for my purposes, is Let them be God's child too. He is Jireh. He's the source. He's the one who provides for you. Your prayers actually do work, and be okay with praying and letting go and dropping it where it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes be discerning, be tapped into God. He'll help you. You ain't got to figure everything out, but let them be their God's child too. And in this moment, it may be that your God needs you to be his child, and let him take care of you. Let him show you some things about you. You ain't got to fix everybody. We got a whole big God for that. You ain't got to fix everything. That's what faith is for. And you don't always see it all. But I do challenge you to put your faith forward for things that you would have otherwise held within your person, within your body, within your being. Let them, let it all come off of you and function in surrender. And so I challenge you to confront the things that you are forcefully trying to control. Give them to God. You are being a good steward of it, but give it to God, okay? Some things are out of the realm of what the Lord is expecting us to guide through with our own hands. We are useful hands to him, but he don't want us to touch everything. Some fires are hot, too hot, okay? Anywho, I love you, and I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go up here with my 15,000 kids and my husband. And I'm going to get my day started. And I'm going to keep it in mind, too. Okay, Kettle. I'm going to keep it in mind, too. And we're going to do this together. Instead of just let them, child, let God. And if you haven't figured it out quite yet, this whole journey that I just talked about, which there is so much more to unpack, but it's been full of grace. Graceful. Well, I'll see you later. Love you. Have a great day. Bye.